3 bands that Keith Richards hated. Keith Richards is a British musician, songwriter, and actor, recognized as one of the major figures in 20th-century rock music. Best known as a member of the Rolling Stones, he is considered one of the most influential guitarists of all time. Over the years, Keith hasn't been shy about sharing his opinions on other bands. Here are 3 bands that Keith Richards hated the most. Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin were a British rock band that was extremely popular in the 1970s. Although their musical style was diverse, they came to be well known for their influence on the development of heavy metal. Despite both bands being pillars of rock music, Keith has often dismissed Zeppelin's music. In a 1969 interview, Richards mentioned that Led Zeppelin's vocalist started to irritate him, commenting, "I don't know why, maybe he's a little too acrobatic." More recently, he criticized drummer John Bonham, saying, "I love Jimmy Page, but as a band, no," with John Bonham thundering down the highway in an uncontrolled 18-wheeler. "Jimmy is a brilliant player. But I always felt there was something a little hollow about it, you know?" He praised the guitarist Jimmy Page but said that musically, the band never really took off. "As a band I thought they never took off musically. At the same time Jimmy Page is one of the best guitar players ever known. And a hell of a powerhouse drummer, John Bonham, I think is kind of heavy-handed, myself. But that's where the lead comes in. But at the same time Plant is exuberant." The Beatles. The Beatles are widely regarded as one of the greatest and most influential bands in the history of popular music, and they have produced numerous iconic and beloved songs throughout their career. While Keith and Mick Jagger had a famously friendly rivalry with the Beatles, Keith has often been critical of their music, especially after their early years. He once said, "The Beatles sounded great when they were the Beatles, but there's not a lot of roots in their music." Keith Richards said he'd pinpointed why the Beatles were unable to match the Rolling Stones' longevity. "Chicks wore those guys out. They stopped touring in 1966, they were done already, they were ready to go to India." He then went on to describe the Beatles' widely acknowledged 1967 masterpiece Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band as a mishmash of rubbish. "There's not a lot of roots in that music. I think they got carried away." Oasis. Oasis shot from obscurity to stardom in 1994, becoming one of Britain's most popular and critically acclaimed bands of the decade in the process. They played a key role in bringing British guitar pop back to the top of the charts. Even though Oasis were built on the same foundations as the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, the two latter bands were keen on them. Richards called them crap and said that, "These guys are just annoying. Grow up and then come back and see if you can hang." It wasn't just Richards who tore into Oasis either. Paul McCartney went as far as to call them unhip. However, the most severe account came from George Harrison. "Their music lacks depth and Liam is a pain, the rest of the band doesn't need him." Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more rock and roll stories. What do you think of Keith's opinions? Are there any bands you think he should give another listen to? Let us know in the comments below.